16-year-old boys think they've witnessed the second coming and the new Messiah has graced them with his presence. Obviously, I'm exaggerating. I recently discovered Hamza and I ended up watching about like 3 or 4 of his videos. He goes into a lot of detail about his personal experience and how it's molded his views and how he lives his life, which is great, until it's not. I do genuinely think that Hamza is out to help people from making the same mistakes that he's made in his life, which is a fantastic concept. And I do believe that he is helping people. But at some point down the line, people start treating content creators, celebrities, and influencers like they've discovered the secret nectar of life. You know, they start to take everything that they say very, very seriously. You know, move aside the Bible. We got Billie Eilish here to take us to the promised land. But today, I want to address Hamza's Why I Hate You If You Play Video Games. This was posted a few weeks ago as of the making of this video. So safe it to say he's probably not changed his opinion up to this point. I would encourage you to actually watch that video. Then come back and watch this one, just to understand his points first. Hamza's main points revolve around young men wasting time playing video games instead of doing something else more productive. This point can apply to almost anything, not just video games. The principle of opportunity cost is not new. And yes, it also applies to how you use your time. Do you think being on YouTube, watching a Hamza video or my video is an optimal use of your time? Probably not. But here's the thing. No one's perfect. Is your time better spent elsewhere? Sure. Perfection is impossible. Hamza even mentions this in this very video. No one truly uses their time optimally, and anyone who tries falls under mental health issues and depression and is plagued by a void of loneliness. Does that sound like success to you? It doesn't to me. It doesn't sound very successful to me. I do have to agree with Hamza on the pattern of young men omitting video games and being all the better for it and actually improving their lives. I can confirm that. I used to be addicted to video games. I felt an urge to just play instead of doing something else. And I suffered for it. For virtually everyone in the world, your life will be improved if you stop playing video games. There's no room for self-improvement there, like 99% of the time. If you truly self-reflect and find yourself immersed in video games, just maybe take the time to understand that it's could be time to put the controller down. And I agree that time after time, some gamers, I hate that word, some gamers justify why they play games. Hamza even says his video is directed towards people that justify playing video games as something that's productive in some sense. And people make excuses for all kinds of unhealthy things. Eating fast food because they don't have time to cook at home. Watching Netflix because they feel like they need to wind down and de-stress. But what bothers me about this is how we're so quick to tell others how they should spend their time. You don't live their life. You don't know what's optimal for them at any given time. We all have our vices, so saying I hate people who play video games, even if that's an exaggeration, is kind of dangerous. Making people feel bad for playing video games doesn't really help them. I understand that Hamza is trying to wake people up from their trance of dopamine and heightened brain activity from playing games and being stuck in that world. But there's a side to this advice that can actually be harmful. Hamza released a video months ago titled "They're Not Your Friends." Again, I recommend you watch that video as well. I'll be honest, he has a lot of good stuff to say there. Essentially, identifying the people who really care about you versus someone you simply share activities with, and you're only friends with them because you're addicted to the same drug, which in this case is video games. Hamza vaguely advises you to cut the people out of your life that you play video games with, and maybe I'm remembering that wrong, but to me that's kind of the direction that he was going with his advice. And I guess that really only applied if you know, video games was the only avenue of unity of your friendship. But there are other consequences to cutting these people out of your life. Everyone is on a journey of self-improvement, even if they've stagnated or they're stuck in the same spot, even if it's for years. We're all on this journey together, okay? Just because someone has stagnated doesn't really mean you should abandon them. There may come a point when it's necessary, but it shouldn't be your default. If you need to steak, if you need steak, you need steak, you know. If you need to take a step back from them, then by all means, please do that. But just because it's awkward when you're, you know, not playing video games, or, you know, maybe they make a mistake, or they're an asshole to you, you know, once or twice, or just maybe even frequently an asshole, doesn't really mean that they're automatically bad for you. And that's a tough one, you know. That's a really tough one. I guess it really just does come down to, and I think Hamza actually mentions this too, but it really just comes down to who you're prioritizing, if you choose yourself or you choose your friend. But when you do abandon them, you lose the ability to be a good influence by projecting your good habits onto them. And just also self-reflect on the fact that you may also be projecting your bad habits onto them as well, and that your friend might actually be forced into the position where they might have to take a step back from you. Even if, you know, you have some good habits, we all have bad habits. Good habits just as well as they do bad ones. Help those with bad habits who you view as your friend and those you care about. They may not immediately reciprocate that friendship, and they may not even care as much about you as you do them, but that doesn't matter. Be a friend to them. They might need it. But maybe it's best to leave a certain friend group. Make that decision for yourself in your situation. Don't take Hamza's word or my word for it to either abandon or keep your friends. Play video games with your friends, because you might not know if you're helping them. You might not even realize it. Just use your own judgment. Listen to Hamza, maybe listen to me, but decide for yourself. There are no universal rules here. Frankly, we don't really know anything about this world and how we should spend our time and what we should do with our lives. Our comprehension and limited understanding is just so small. So if anyone just acts like they have the answers, they are even more ignorant than you or me. I know the title of this video claims that Hamza is wrong, and I've actually proceeded to agree with like 95% of the stuff that he said. But I know that there are very impressionable young men out there who watch like 1 to 2 minutes of either his video or this video and then just decided, you know, friend good, friend bad, video game good, video game bad. And they didn't really stop to think about their other options and how it will truly affect them and the people around them. And frankly, Hamza is wrong. I'm wrong, and you're wrong. No one's perfect. all we can do is try to do the best we can. Cheers, guys.